Right, so here we have the evolution of the Specialized S-Works shoe, starting with the S-Works 5, which came out, I suppose it's about 5 years ago, something like that. I've certainly had these for at least 4 years, and they've had a lot of miles put onto them. I do about 15,000 kilometers a year, and you can see that they've lost their rear bumpers. That's not it's not too big a deal. They're fairly scuffed up, a little bit of a wear on the toe there, but you know, overall, for shoes that have done so much, and you know, when I do tours I have to end up stomping around quite a lot on car parks and backwards and forwards between the car and restaurants and things like that. So they've done remarkably well, really, and for me, so far, this was the most comfortable shoe that they ever made. It's really soft all round, and it's just you can wear this all day and no issues whatsoever. So this really sold me on S-Works shoes, this one. Then we moved to the 6, which, if you've seen my previous videos, I was a bit disappointed with when I first used them and tried them on, because this area here for me was really hitting my ankle bone, and it's very stiff, this whole area here. The heel, you can see the difference, you know, how they've really gone for a rigid heel here, that and all this gone for rigid heel all around here. All this supporting area here is completely rigid, whereas here it's not. So that takes some getting used to. The idea is a good one, because it's a bit like a ski boot in a way. It keeps your foot firmly anchored into the shoe. So it's a good thing, but you just have to kind of get used to it. And these have broken in a fair bit. They are a year and a half old or so, 20,000 or so kilometers on them. And again, they've held up really well. Excellent condition still. Even the soles are pretty good, and the heel bumper's fine. So they do last, which is good. But for me, sometimes still, if I'm going to be on the bike all day, I sometimes use the 5s just to be sure that I'm going to be completely comfortable. But if I'm racing or just a shorter ride, I'll go with these. And so the 7s have arrived, and they Specialized have said that they've addressed this problem of the lack of comfort in the heel area. So this is a little bit more foamy. It's kind of more spongier around here, and yeah, you know, they just seem to really have gone and said, okay, the 6 was a good concept. It's a nice idea. It works, but we just need to make it a bit more comfy. So that seems to be what they've done here. And these boa dials are new. They're really nice to use, actually. Very easy to grab hold of and turn. These ones not so easy really as these. These are sort of metallized, and the anchor points are a bit neater, a bit more aero, if you're into that sort of thing. For me, this toe strap here is a little bit surplus to requirements. I never really use it, so I think they could probably ditch that, to be honest. And it is made from this magical new material called Dyneema, which apparently is 15 times stronger than steel, yet floats on water. So here we are, just outside Palma, one of my favourite climbs. Absolutely no traffic, just a few bikes here and there. And we have the new S-Works 7 shoes on, and I've been riding these for a few days now. And first impressions, I mean, a few days is not really a long-term test or anything, but first impressions are really good. I think basically this is the shoe that the S-Works 6 should have been, because it has all of the grip and anchoring of your foot that the 6 does, which is was like a big leap for Specialized to do that. They're the only shoe that I know of that really has that kind of anchor type grip on your foot, but they've addressed the comfort issues, and I'm feeling no real discomfort at all. And it's the brand new shoe, and so they're obviously going to be a little bit stiff in various areas, and they're going to take a few weeks to break in, and then they feel a little bit stiff, but there's nothing at all compared to the discomfort that I felt when I first put on the S-Works 6s, which was kind of chronic, and I almost sent them back straight away. So yeah, I mean that's a really good thing. Let's set off and we can see them in action. The other good thing about them is that these new boa dials make it really easy to adjust the ratchet tension on your foot. They're really easy to find and grip, and they've got a very precise amount of clicks to just fine tune how tight you want them. And yeah, you know, I mean they're super stiff. There's not going to be any power lost between your leg and the pedal. And the other thing I think you can say about these shoes is that they do have this noticeably quite a wide toe box, which makes them look slightly odd. I think they look a bit slightly better than the 6s, but it does mean that your toes and the front part of your foot have no space issues at all. I mean, my feet aren't particularly wide, but I mean I can feel my toes wriggling around down the end there, and there's no tightness or discomfort there at all. So that's quite a good thing. I have to say, I mean, I think Specialized are going down the right line with this extra foot retention idea, because if you've ever been skiing, one of the first things they always tell you when you fit a ski boot is you don't want the heel to be able to move off the ground. And albeit, okay, it's a different sport, different things going on, I think it's the same thing with cycle shoes really, that if you're pulling up hard or sprinting or whatever, you don't want the foot moving around inside the shoe. So anything that kind of morphs the shoe to the foot, keeps the two together, has to be a good thing in my book. And it's just the comfort side of things. If you can crack that, which I think they have, then you're on to a winner. Right, time for the weigh-in, and you'll be pleased to hear that I'm not actually going to use these scales here, which I borrowed because I didn't have any decent ones. You can see that they are laughably inaccurate and don't even zero. So in the interest of precision and keeping the quality of these videos at least half decent, I went out and invested in a €12 set of half decent scales. So all the shoes have blue SPDSL cleats on them. These are very worn, so they may be 5 grams lighter than they would normally be. So the Sworks 5 are 255 grams. The Sworks 6 with fairly new cleats are a bit lighter at 250 grams. And surprisingly, the Sworks 7 are the heaviest of them all, although the cleats are brand new. 261 grams. But they're all amongst the lightest shoes out there, so nothing really too much to worry about there. If you're curious to know what the actual shoe weighs itself without the cleat, it's 35 grams for a cleat, so just subtract that from the weights I gave you before. And the other thing I'd just like to say to finish off is obviously the main reason I do these videos is to promote cycle speed, and if you haven't been out to Mallorca cycling, then you really should. It's something you've got to do before you die. And we do some really good tours in some fantastic places. There's some new hotels that have opened up in the centre of Palma that are just beautiful. The restaurants, the food's amazing. This road here, which I've been filming on today, not one car, and you can get to this in 5 minutes from where we're based in Palma. It's 25 degrees, sunny. It's you know, what are you waiting for, basically? Go and have a look at the website. If you can't make it this spring, then come in the autumn.